Welcome back.
What's up, people who came here from the Losers Podcast? What's up,
Welcome.
losers? Welcome. This is Double Feature.
Did you have a sick intro you want to rip?
Yeah, maybe. Give me a
Jesus Christ. Give him 2 fucking seconds.
Admittedly, this is, out of the 2 episodes that we're about to have done, this is the weirder of the pairings. This is a strange double feature.
This is actually, I was just about to say, these are the 2 most similar films we've put together, right?
Yeah. We tried to clean up Chinatown and all we got was giant worms.
Hey!
We are doing Tremors.
2 Wongs. It can't be right.
That's right.
2 Wongs don't make a right.
2 Wongs don't make a right. Tremors, Year of the Dragon. The only real connective tissue between the 2 of them is Victor Wong plays prominent roles in both. Shout out to famed character actor Victor
Rest
Wong.
in peace,
Grandpa
Victor Wong
from Three Ninjas franchise. A huge part of our movie raisings.
Yeah.
Life.
He's a real national treasure, a real Chinese national treasure.
Real Chinese national treasure.
This was a weird double feature, but both of these movies were good.
Right. So essentially, if you're joining us and you've been following all the way back since episode 1 last week, the rules are pretty simple on double feature, barring some sort of death of a beloved celebrity or any other sort of wrench in the gears. The idea is that there has to be some sort of connective tissue between each week, and then there has to be a connective tissue between the 2 movies for the double feature. The connective tissue between last week and this week is Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Pretty simple one.
Mickey Rourke was in Angel Heart last week, and he is in Year of the Dragon this week.
And Victor Wong
is in both films we watched this week.
So I'd probably prefer to start with Year of the Dragon, 1, because we literally just finished watching it.
Yod.
But 2, I don't want to give too much away. But of the 2 movies, I really like both of these movies. But Tremors is way more fun.
I mean, I'd never seen Year of the Dragon until we just watched it.
Yeah.
And it's good. It was good. In full transparency, I'm very tired. And so a lot of the movie is in Chinese, which did make me very sleepy.
Yeah. And to be delirious, sort of in and out, looking at subtitles of people
doing Chinese.
Speaking Chinese.
So I was in and out a little in the beginning, but I did lock in for right up top. This movie's too long.
It is long.
It's too long. Whoever made this movie could have cut 45 minutes out of this movie.
And we'll get into that.
But it was good. I mean, Mickey Rourke is great. And the whole time I watched this movie, I thought, how is Mickey Rourke not Kiefer Sutherland? Like, how are they not the same guy?
That's interesting.
They look identical. The whole time I was like, this is just, he could be Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know if he had some work done. This is a little later, right? This is 90?
No, this is 85.
Oh, this is early.
Yeah.
This is before Angel Heart.
It is before Angel Heart. Angel Heart 87, 88, right?
No, 90.
Already. Is it 90? That's right. Same year as the other movie, Tremors.
That's right.
Yeah.
But he looks like Kiefer Sutherland, and honestly, what a handsome guy.
Yeah. Super cool looking. What I kept thinking throughout the movie, his hair is awesome in this.
Yeah, his hair's so poofy.
Yeah, and it's got like, it's fine. They
got highlights.
They say on IMDb that one of the gaffes of this movie is that in the first scene that you see him, he's like gray all over, and then for the rest of the movie, he's only gray on the wings.
I thought they were highlights.
No, it's gray. But the whole time, I kept thinking, is he the hair inspiration for the comedian from The Watchmen?
Yeah, right.
And I to the point where I Googled it.
Sweeney Todd?
Yeah, little Sweeney Todd. Little Sweeney Todd. But to the point where I Googled it and was like, it always happens where you'll find out way later on the bonus features of some special edition DVD of whatever movie that, actually this person was in consideration. And I was like, if Mickey Rourke wasn't in consideration for the comedian, for what's his name?
Oh, yeah, like Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays him, ends up playing him. But he wasn't. It was like a who's who of You know, at least according to a quick AI search, it was like Johnny Depp was in it.
When did that come out? 2009.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, Mickey Rourke probably still looked like a decent person then.
I
He's
think that's
crazy looking now.
yeah, it looks nuts. But I think it's right around the time. When did Wrestler come out?
Yeah, probably about that time.
And then when did
2009. Yeah, the last big movie I remember him being in was Iron Man 2.
Right.
He played the guy with the whips in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And then since then, I don't remember. And that was like 2011.
Right. Or Expendables 5.
Yeah, right. It's a shame because he's a talented actor.
Yep.
And
That's right.
he's a handsome guy. And he was handsome in like The Wrestler and Iron Man 2. He's like, he was aging well there for a while.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it looks like he's getting himself ready for the David Lee Roth biopic or something.
And he said, I don't know what troubles that poor soul, but he has been under the knife 25 too many times.
Something happened for sure.
But it's a cool movie, and one of the things I really like about that movie was the set, like the locations, the film locations. There's something about this movie. You know this about me, and for the viewers, they might know this about me. But if you don't know this about me, I love the mysteries of China. I'm obsessed with with how mysterious China is.
Ancient Chinese.
And how they won't let us go there and take a look at anything, right?
I think you can.
Nah, not really. They buried all their pyramids and stuff. They don't want to see it. Right? And I think that was kind of what was cool about this movie was there's a lot of great locations in New York City that are like, oh, this doesn't even feel like this is a place.
Right.
It almost has like that backroom feel. Like, you know, those backroom videos on Instagram. That doesn't ring a bell with you.
I think so.
Just like that very, like, I don't know how to explain, like, places you're not supposed to be.
Right.
Like, where it's like, you would never be in this place. I would never see inside of this building. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Right.
This is where they're doing the bean sprouts. It's like, this is a place?
Yeah, right.
There's a place in New York City where there's just huge tubs of bean sprout water.
Yeah,
you know,
I'll never forget it. The first time I ever went to New York City, I was 16 and went with like a homie and his family who had been back and forth to New York a bunch, and they were kind of showing me around. And one of the places we went was
bean sprout.
No, was Chinatown, and we eat at one of these restaurants where they had been plenty of times, so many times that I think like the owner came over and said hello or something. I was like, oh, damn. But you have to go down the stairs into this little basement. And then my homie, who's like, I'm 16, he's 17.
He's 40.
He's like, without batting an eye, he's like, let me get a Ting Sao beer. And they were like, yep, cool. And they bring him a beer. And so we're in this like strangely lit basement Chinese restaurant, some of the best Chinese food that I had had up to that point. And all of that to say, long story made even longer.
Long story continued to make long.
Make long, one of the stars of the movie. I assume that a lot of the places you see in this movie are the places in the back of that restaurant where it's like, it's like where people are playing baccarat and doing whatever.
That's cool. That is I mean, again, I'd never seen this movie until we just watched it, but that was like of all the things that I'm thinking about right now, that's the thing that sticks out the most. Is like, there's so many. Obviously, it's a noir, right?
Right.
Another noir. A lot of like smoke and rain and that kind of vibe, and you never really get like the full zoom out on where we are in the city. Everything's real close and you know, tight. But there's a scene where he's up in she takes a shower. He's got some love interest. Mickey Rourke has an Asian love interest.
Right.
And they're up. She's taking a shower, right? But she just goes out and looks at the city through the glass in her apartment. It just felt very Chinese. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, you know? Like, there's just something about that, like, the mysticism of the old Chinese way that this movie did really well of sort of convey.
So as a quick synopsis, Mickey Rourke plays a sort of grizzled ex-Vietnam vet detective who's
cool guy
from Brooklyn or the Bronx originally and had it seemed like he had done all he felt like he could do for those neighborhoods, and so now Chinatown is his new pet project, and he's trying to clean up the triad, gang violence, drug smuggling that seems to be happening in New York City's Chinatown. And he's very like gung ho, get the fuck out of my way.
Yo, he says early on,
get on board.
The reporter lady, he's like, I'm the most decorated cop in New York City history. And we're not talking about pencil pushing decorations.
That's accommodation or whatever.
We're talking about in the field.
Yeah. And so he's very like this no nonsense, tough talking, bull in a china shop, which comes back to haunt everyone he knows in this movie. But yeah, it's a little bit of quick, like, what would you call this? Credit where credit is due. Directed by Michael Cimino.
Cimino.
Yeah. Who, after watching this movie again, this is only the second time I've seen this movie. But two of the other big notable ones that Michael Cimino is responsible for is Thunderbolt and Lightfoot and The Deer Hunter.
No way. I love Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Yeah.
That's why we had buzz all throughout the last episode, because I didn't turn the fucking other channels down.
Oh, nice.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, and I looked at it, and he's only really got, I think he's got like 7 or 8 features, so he's probably somebody that I'll slowly start to cross some off the list that I haven't seen because they sounded interesting. And it's always interesting when somebody's like, hasn't directed 400 cameras, and 6 of them are for the Sci-Fi Channel in 2000.
Yeah, right.
So he's definitely got some cool notches in the bedpost. And
can I say this about this movie?
No.
Oh, okay. I think this is a good movie that is not a good movie.
Okay.
I liked this movie.
Blame yourself.
I liked this movie. There are moments in this movie where I was like, I don't understand what this movie was trying to do. There's a lot of commentary in this movie that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, if you made a movie about black people the way that this movie is about Chinese people.
I was going to say, if you don't love this whole episode, not that we're going to rip them, but if you don't love slurs, and then for Tremors, if you're triggered by the GD, there's definitely, and there's plenty of examples of that, I think, in the 80s, in the 70s, where there are like these crazy race relations movies.
Well, this movie looks like it is trying to make some sort of commentary. Like, it definitely has the feel of a movie that's like, no, this is about like Chinese American, like there's all this like, we built the railroad. Yeah. It's like, the sort of secret history of the Chinese people in America. But then all the Chinese people in this movie are bad. And there's no examples of good Chinese people.
Dude, don't say that. After we just
there's one.
Obviously the dude they plucked, who's Donnie Dunn, who's in I think it's Donnie Dunn, who's in Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
He's sort of and you don't see him enough. I wonder if his schedule was whacked out at this point.
He's in the movie for like 10 minutes.
What year actually was Big Trouble?
I don't know.
He's been in plenty of stuff, and he rules, but he's sort of the rookie that they just pull out of academy to go through that, and he's great. And he gives towards the end, he gives Mickey Rourke a what for, stop being a fucking racist dude.
Yeah,
he's this stuff.
He is the linchpin that he's the only one who him and
this
our boy, dude,
in the basement beansprout thing.
Beansprout guy.
And I'm refraining from doing his accent because it's so specific and so good. It's so good. Just watch the movie and then quote it in private.
But even the reporter girl, there's and I mean, I don't know how to politely say it, but there's almost a race traitory aspect to her character, where she's she's sort of white presenting, doesn't have an accent.
Well, and Donnie,
white man.
Donnie Dunn sort of points out too that her family is from the North. So they're North Cantonese, and he's they're like that. And she's clearly coming from money, and went to some sort of Ivy League school for journalism. And she's
she lives in a big penthouse.
Right, beautiful with a boyish mid 80s haircuts and whatever.
See a bush.
But yeah, but
It's a little bush later in the movie.
What I think it is, and I I hate to try to get into the mindset of like a pretty obviously accomplished director who stuff from everything I've seen looks great and feels great and does all this stuff. It does feel like maybe whether internal pressure from himself or external pressure from the studio to be like, make this your Scorsese.
Dances with Wolves.
Well, no.
I don't.
A little bit though, where Dances with Wolves is sort of this long epic that's trying to
maybe more like Lone Star. Have you ever seen Lone Star?
No.
With Matthew McConaughey. It doesn't matter. It's like a social commentary about Native.
But it feels like if Scorsese was almost zero about Italian organized crime,
right,
and was instead all about Asian organized crime, Chinese organized crime. It's somewhere between. I mean, it's honestly feels a lot of times somewhere between, Goodfellas and Chinatown.
Yeah, I mean, that's Chinatown. That's probably its biggest obstacle as a movie,
right? Which
is that
would be interesting.
It already exists.
Double feature, and I think this movie has some stuff that Chinatown doesn't have, and Chinatown leans even more into the neo-noir thing a little bit and like whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think the movie stands on its own and is good and is a little long. But I mean, some of the payoff scenes, you're like, it's fine.
Yeah, it was good.
That was cool. And yeah, I mean, a couple of them.
Dewey Cox's dad.
Rubble. Yeah, I believe his name is Raymond J. Barry.
Raymond J. Barry.
Hopefully as well.
Arlo Givens from Justified.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Great show. Shout out. John Lone. It may have autocorrected when I was writing my notes, but he's Ricky Tan from Rush Hour 2. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Ricky Tan.
Yeah. So there's some for sure some cool stuff, and it is. I'm just so curious what is behind some of these choices, because obviously the dude who plays Ricky Tan sort of steps in for Victor Wong's character as this, like, what they call him, like the unofficial mayor of Chinatown. I think Victor Wong's character is Harry Young, Yung. And sort of for no real reason except it seems like the dude who's Ricky Tan is just sort of like behind closed doors. They're implying that he's sort of forced Victor Wong's hand to step down, and maybe it's his uncle or something.
Yeah, they all seem loosely related.
And they're supposed to be not really triads. They're supposed to be just like people who run gambling and they're this sort of like the nice half of organized crime.
We see that in the beginning when Mickey Rourke shows up. He busts in on them all together in the room, and he's like, they're like, oh yeah. If you want to clean up the streets of Chinatown, like, we're all for that. Like, we don't want gang violence.
Right, we don't like violence, but just don't come into our gang.
Yeah, we can't take our baccarat.
Yeah. But I mean, there's definitely, it's a fun open. The open is like, I think the movie's called Year of the Dragon because it starts on the Chinese New Year. You're getting a big parade, dragon, it's like a float, but it's just carried by people, and then there are floats, and then there's all this fun pageantry, and then these like street tough triad thug dudes come in and stab who we are led to believe was like sort of the other prominent leader of family, whatever, he
has a silly beard.
He just comes in to a restaurant where that guy's eating, celebrating the Chinese New Year, and just whispers into his ear and then stabs him in the heart with a knife and then runs. And you're like, oh, I guess we're in this movie now because it's going. You're like 2 seconds after the last credit, sort of like introductory credit is rolled. You're into a world of organized crime and
crime. Yeah. I want to know
fingerless gloves.
Some of the stuff I'm interested in is no way everybody in this movie was Chinese.
Oh, you think they padded the stat?
I don't know. It's too many different accents.
Well,
I know there's regional accents in China, but
big place.
But I'm telling, there is a point where he says something. He's like, he's talking to Homegirl, the reporter. Mickey Rourke is talking to her, and he's like, we were over in Vietnam, and he's talking about Vietnam, and he's like, and you guys, and he keeps referring to.
I think that's supposed to point out his racism. There are other clues that are used. There's some other things that Ron would.
But it's like he was in Vietnam. He knows the difference between the Chinese version and the Vietnamese.
Oh, he's doing it on purpose. I assume
like you guys
to be like dismissive and diminutive and like make her feel shitty and small, I guess. I don't know. That's the crazy thing about this movie is like, and maybe it speaks to either the movie or maybe it speaks to me being a shithead, but I think you're supposed to sort of root for Stanley White's crusade in spite of him being a huge damaged douche.
Yeah. I mean, he has moments like I think the movie wants to try to be about him and like him changing as a character. But there were times in the movie where I was like, if this movie would just break and he would just like pick up a gun and be like, fuck it.
Right.
And then the next 45 minutes was just them tearing through Chinatown and just blowing people's heads off. It would work, but they just never get to it.
I think it honestly, it might work better, at least as like a more rewatchable movie, if the last 45 minutes is Tombstone.
Yeah, right.
You know, Hell's Coming With Me after that point. If it takes on a revenge movie as soon as they get his wife, which
that's where I think it should
just turn. Which is great, but he's trying to like hang on to both.
Instead, he just gets sad.
He can't figure out if he's like a straight nothing will ever turn me against the rules cop by the book cop, but he's also like the 85 equivalent of a turn off your dot
right.
or something.
Well, it's like,
and you're like, what are your principles?
He's also, I don't know, like this like the end, right? Did he arrest him at the end? It made no sense to me. What it felt like at the end was that like he just like got out of the hospital and was like, I'm gonna go down there and get him. And they were like, you're not a cop anymore, man. You can't do that. And he was like, I don't care. I'm gonna go get him.
It almost felt he was still on pain meds from the hospital. Like,
and then they just like push him in the dirt.
Be a cop or get you.
And then the reporter lady picks him up.
And he's like,
and then he just smiles, and then the movie ends.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they should have explained that he was still high on pain meds. Yeah. He like gets shot in the arm.
Escaped the hospital or something. But yeah, there's all these moments in the movie where instead of him doing something cool, he just like gets wasted and falls down.
Which I guess maybe the idea is that this is closer to who we all are.
Yeah, but
it's kind of mixed with like
shootouts in this movie.
That's what I'm saying. Is like it should have just been right when his wife dies. He goes full on like, take my badge. You get the trope of like, where I'm going, I don't need it.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
And he gets his own gun, buys it from some underground spot where there's no serial.
Or he gets a sword.
He goes
full samurai.
Kill Bill. That'd be so sick.
He takes the culture back to him.
That's right.
He goes full man king on their ass, dude.
Man king.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a good movie though.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
And the music is fun. I thought there's so many times where the music was, I mean this in like a way where it's not going to sound like I enjoyed it, but I did. It was stupid. There were plenty of times where I thought, wow, that's stupid. That's the dumbest music. And it's just something about the way that it transitions the scenes makes it feel like fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like...
It keeps it moving.
Yeah, there were plenty of times where the music didn't really match what I thought was going on in the movie. Like, where they're having like a serious like scene in the backdrop is like... just like the harp and shit. Yeah, it was cool.
There's a lot of like the whole soundtrack is Chinese restaurant music. It's great.
Chinese restaurant.
And some of my favorite reoccurring things are that despite his blatant, unadulterated racism
Racism.
to Asian people in general, and then specifically because of Chinatown to the Chinese. It's so clear. He makes it so clear that he loves spare ribs.
Everywhere they go.
He's constantly bringing up spare ribs.
Why don't you get some spare ribs?
Why don't you get some fucking spare ribs or something? And then earlier in the movie, he hits.
But they go eat at the Chinese restaurant. Him and the reporter, and he goes, "Have you ever been here? The food is great. The spare ribs are great.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah." And then she goes, "I like Italian food."
Well, he also says, by the way, this scene is lit perfectly. It looks great.
Yeah,
it looks awesome. But his line is something along the lines of like, the spare ribs are actually pretty good here. It's like the lighting's always just atrocious. He talks about how come every Chinese restaurant looks like an ER room or whatever, and it's like there's not a fluorescent.
And this it doesn't even make sense.
It looks awesome.
It's like,
but there's earlier in the movie, I think, where he's talking at that first meeting where he like sort of busts in on Victor Wong, and they're like mad at him for breaking into the gambling hall, and he's like, I don't even want to see one of your triad gang members unless they're serving me spare ribs with a
spare
or
ribs.
some shit.
And then he meets his wife later at a bar, and she's mad at him. He's like, "Babe, go have a seat. Go try that. Go get some spare ribs. Spare ribs.
Can we get some nice Chinese champagne?
Hey, can we get my wife some spare ribs?
And spare ribs are
Okay, can we get my bitch wife some spare ribs?"
It's crazy, dude.
He does have a bitch wife.
But she rules, and
she gets killed.
Well, yeah.
R.I.P.
She's also
hold on. I gotta ask about this.
Okay.
How did she find out about the affair? I may have fallen asleep because I know she saw them like arguing in the window at the restaurant. But then, how did she put it together?
I think that's it.
That's it.
I think the thing that they do pretty well about this movie is that his wife, like, she's being bitchy, but it's all justified.
Yeah, well,
she just wants a baby, and she's like, I used to be, she's sort of hitting him with like, I used to be fun, and you used to be romantic, and now we're fucking mad at each other and tired all the time. And she's clearly like smart and with it.
And she says, she's like, I hung with you through
all this
through the
Brooklyn.
Yeah, and then now you're gonna go get some fucking bitches 10 years younger than me pregnant.
And so she's awesome, and it's she's played by Caroline Kava, who is in one episode of X-Files.
Oh wow!
Since I imagine a lot of our fans will also love X-Files.
You guys have seen that, huh? The X-Files.
She's in the damn, I lost where I'm at in my notes, like a douche. She's in season 2, episode 24. It's called Our Town, and it's actually an awesome episode where she plays the wife of one of these dudes who's in like a cannibalistic cult so that they can live longer.
The live long cannibalistic cult, yeah.
But yeah, she's great, and that, I mean, again, it's probably the best scene in the movie, where the 2 or 3 triad gang guys come into their place and no, relax. Where they come into Stanley and her, Connie, I think is her name in the movie. They come into their place while they're arguing, and you can see his silhouette through the window on the door where she's like, "Go the fuck away," whatever. And he keeps trying to come back.
Has confronted him about the affair. And he's leaning up. He walks outside. Then he comes back inside and he leans up against the door outside of the bathroom. He's like, I think you should keep the house. Like, what's mine is yours, and then all this stuff. Yeah, the bank accounts are ours.
And another silhouette comes right behind him and like
grabs him by the neck.
And then she comes out, what the hell? And then she gets
stabbed.
I think they slit her.
Yeah, they hit her with a slit. Yeah. They kill her Braveheart style.
They Braveheart her a little bit. And then, they don't draw and quarter or nothing.
No. They killed Braveheart's first. They killed William Wallace's first wife with a.
That's right. But so he shoots one of them while they're still struggling in the house and sort of elbows one to get away from him, the one that's choking him from behind, and then goes out and maybe it's between this and the last like showdown scene before the like sweet weird maybe drug induced wrap up that we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Those are probably the 2 cool, like
where he tags the guy.
coolest scene. Yeah, there's the last guy is trying to get away, who broke into the house and is driving away in his car, and Dewey Cox's dad runs down the street because he hears all this stuff, and he's got a rifle in his hand, and he's like, "They fucking got Kodak," and then he starts shooting at the car where the guy's driving away, and there's a split second where he goes, and then his whole forehead explodes, and yeah, it's fun, and I think, like I said, between that and the showdown at the end with Ricky Tan looks so cool. They're just
went on the bridge,
train yard, and they go out onto the train bridge.
Yep.
And he's like trying to run away, but then there's you see a train's coming from the other direction, and they both sort of hit them with each other with like a "come on," and they start running towards you.
Well, that was the best part. They're running away from each other. So Mickey Rourke is chasing Ricky Tan,
chasing him,
and Mickey Rourke screams something. It's like, and then Ricky Tan turns around, stops running.
Well, he realizes there's a train coming anyway.
Yeah, it's like, whatever, this is it.
His only way out.
And then they just scream, yell, run at each other.
And Mickey Rourke gets clipped gets a wing clip, and then hits Ricky Tan right in the chest.
Yep.
And he's like, and then Ricky Tan, unnecessarily, he's just like, "Hey, tell me about where's the heroin," or whatever. And Ricky Tan just is like, "Oh, I wasn't trying to do Asian. Jesus. You watched this movie for 2 hours and 45 minutes. You try your best."
Yeah, right.
And he said, he's sort of mumbling through gurglings of choking on his own blood that something and whatever. And then he's like, "Please." And then he just takes his gun and shoots himself.
No.
I don't know what he said.
Well, he doesn't. I don't know what he said, but he says it's like he asks Mickey Rourke because it's not his gun.
That's right.
Ricky Tan's out of bullets,
That's right.
which is crazy to be in that scenario and be like, "Yo, give me your gun.
Can I have your gun?
Can I have your gun?" And then for Mickey Rourke to just be like, "Yeah, sure, buddy. Here you go."
And
then to not kill Mickey Rourke.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like it's supposed to be like a last ditch honor. Well, no, in that Japanese.
I know, but in the vein of,
but just sort of this honorable.
You know what they believe.
You know those guys,
the Vietnamese.
You know the ties are, man. Oh yeah.
Oh, speaking of the ties, I could have done without that whole part of the movie.
Where he just
that's the part of the movie that I would cut out. He would just go into Thailand for no reason.
Right.
There's like 30 minutes of this movie where Ricky Tan is just in Thailand.
If you're gonna put that part in the movie, make it black and white.
Put ladyboys in it. Make it ladyboy adjacent.
And black and white, probably.
And black and white. So that was Year of the Dragon. Give me a score for Yod.
Year of the Dragon.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Score. I'm going 7.6.
Ooh.
7 maybe.
I would say 7.3.
Oh, okay.
A little lower. I mean, I think in a better headspace, not as tired as I was earlier. But also I do think that there's some things where I was like, I don't understand. Like the end of the movie made no sense. Like I don't understand. Like what had happened if at the end of the movie he had actually showed back up and arrested those people? Okay. But what I don't or like he shows back up and then you make some sort of statement about how you can't keep doing this or whatever. You need to change. What I don't understand is the ending scene in this movie is Mickey Rourke in a sling, and he's just like pushing through a crowd of people, and all the other people in this movie that we know are sort of chasing him, being like, "He won't stop! He won't stop! He's a cop through and through!" Yeah. And then somebody's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm gonna arrest these people." And they're like having a funeral.
They're doing a funeral.
And then there's like a skirmish that ensues, and then they push Mickey Rourke on the ground, and then he just gets up.
Right.
He's covered in mud. Chaos. He puts his arm around his Asian girlfriend, smiles, and then the movie ends.
And it is like the silliest smile ever.
He just has like a drunk guy smile, like he's like kind of moseying off it, you know. It makes no sense. So that kind of killed it for me a little bit.
Yeah, maybe 7.5 is a better score.
But it's a good movie, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is that's like a couple of minor tweaks here and there, and this movie's a solid 8.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and yeah, you shave 20 minutes off of this movie here and there, and a lot of it being the Bangkok part.
Yep.
Which, like, again, the Bangkok part has a chance to be cool, but it all feels pretty unnecessary. You know, some of this is like this. You know, when you have a meeting and you're like, this could have been an email.
Yeah, right.
It feels like
Some of it was out.
I think that may be a reoccurring theme on the show. This could have been in parts.
Well, let's get on to the next movie, which definitely couldn't have been an email.
Can't be an email. But right before we get out of Tremors, let's tie up
Oh yeah,
Year of the Dragon with one of my one of the quotes that I love in this movie. Tracy Zhu, I think is how you say her name. She's the reporter. She says, "You're acting like a child." And Stanley says, "Well, a great man is one who in manhood still keeps the heart of a child."
Who in manhood still keeps the heart of a child.
That's right. Which I think actually is a good.
That's a great segue because it takes the heart of a child to make a great film like this next movie we're going to talk about. Somewhere my father's ears have perked up. We're talking about his all-time favorite movie.
Is he he's Tremors' his number one favorite Fox?
Tremors 1, Tremors 2, Tremors 3, Tremors 4.
One day we will
the Tremors series.
Sorry, one day we will do the ultimate companion series for every Tremors start to finish.
They made the Tremors movies for my dad.
They had your dad in mind.
Yeah.
Do you remember how old you were? Maybe first time you saw it?
Yeah. So whatever the first of it, like 8, probably. Yeah. Whatever would have been like the first time it would have come on TV, and I would have been old enough to remember it.
Yeah. I think I was probably pretty close because the homie that I was hanging out with, we were gonna do like a 4th grade talent show performance together. He played guitar. Shout out Chris Lyda. I was gonna play with drums. And then he bailed and did Good Riddance by himself by Green Day and got second. And I did a drum solo. It was dog shit, but I was probably like 7 or 8 too. Yeah. And it was definitely one of the early ones. It's like, I think before that, one of the rougher movies, more adult movies that I had seen was probably, I had a babysitter when I was like 5 that brought over like Terminator, and he was just a teenage dude who lived in the same apartment.
I had definitely seen Jurassic Park. That would be like the next closest. I probably wouldn't saw Jurassic Park. No, it was 95. I would have been too young, but definitely
I think I saw it
had it on VHS
with my parents. But I don't remember.
Tremors rules, man. I mean, and if you haven't seen Tremors, this podcast is not. You should
not for you. I'm trying not to get too fired up, and like, I think to the uninitiated, you might look at this and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is a top-notch sci-fi original movie, sort of thing that spins off into a million sequels in the series, like you said, and like
this is art.
This is Comic-Con, sort of." Bait for some sort of like dumb bear trap. It's so good.
This is the best movie.
It's incredible. And
it's the best movie. If Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon, young Kevin Bacon.
Well, but not crazy.
But but like prime.
Well, I was
prime young Kevin Bacon.
So one of the big things about the movie is that until relatively recently, Kevin Bacon always kind of thought of this movie. He was in a bad spot when he made the movie, where Kira Sedgwick, his wife, I think
they're still together.
Good for them. Congratulations. But at the time, she's pregnant, and he's feeling his, this is a few years after Footloose and Flatliners, and he's starting to feel like, oh, if my agent's hitting me up about a giant worm movie,
yes, things aren't good.
Things aren't going great. So he feels like, I'm on the downward slide. Am I sure I'm going to do this? But he said he read the script and thought, I can play this. I can have fun with this character. This is actually a really well written script. There's a cool like 30-minute documentary that's on YouTube now. It's called like Tremors Making Perfection, that I would recommend to anybody who really likes these movies, or this movie at least. And he does a lot of interviews in it. Talk about a cool looking guy, by the way. A handsome devil.
Who's that?
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, Kevin Bacon, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing interviews and he's kind of talking about it where he's like, yeah, I was in a bad spot and it took me like 10 years before I was like, actually, that was one of the more fun movie experiences. And it seems like that is across the board where everybody got along. Everybody was sort of felt like a family and it was just fun. And there's not one CGI in this movie. There's one visual effect, which is there's like a quick scene where you see the Tremors supposed to be all the way underground and the tongues come out and it's just like flash. And I think that's the one visual effect, but everything else is legit.
They caught the worms and everything. They raised them big ass worms. They caught around to do those tricks.
It's one of the best opening scenes of a movie too, by the way, because it starts with Kevin Bacon pissing off the cliff.
Yep.
And then it goes over to where they've been camping in the back of Earl's truck.
Yep.
Earl is still asleep, Fred Ward, and he shakes the truck and is like, "Stampede, Earl, stampede." And both of those things will come back to play at the end of the movie. And then they argue and play rock, paper, scissors about who made breakfast yesterday and do the thing. Then it goes to the first example of them doing handiwork. And and Kevin Bacon misses. I know this had to be not on purpose. He misses the barbed wire staple on the top of the post 9 times.
25 times.
And finally hits. And then as they're walking away, Fred Ward goes and looks at the set. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is full of. I mean, I've seen this movie 100 bazillion times, but it's so fun. It's so funny. It's paced well. I was saying when we were watching it the other night, the costumes, wardrobe.
The wardrobe's great.
Costumes. But the wardrobe is great. Like Fred wore everything in Tremors looks dirty.
Yeah.
You know, it's dusty.
Yeah, it's dusty. So a quick synopsis, I guess, before we get too damn far down the rabbit hole.
Big worms in the desert.
Big worms in Perfection.
Reba. Big worms in the desert.
Perfection, Nevada, fictional town. All of a sudden, sheep start going missing.
Yeah.
And people start ending up dead.
There's a lady who's a seismologist.
She's out there getting readings from the cops.
She's getting nervous. She's getting nervous about the seismographical reading.
Well, she's like, something. Hope nothing's wrong with my machines. I'm gonna have to bag the whole summer.
Yeah, well, yeah. We have to go home and get these things recalibrated.
Yeah. And so she's like, these are weird. I'm getting weird readings, and it doesn't like shoot. It never feels forced. But it does not waste any time getting into this is exactly what
this movie does not explain a goddamn thing in honor of Tremors. Goddamn thing.
It's really not a big GD movie.
Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, this movie was supposed to be rated R.
Yep, it was originally rated R.
And they went back and they had to recut it, which is why there's a lot of goddamn and.
Well, I think there was always going to be a bunch of goddams, but what you notice.
There's a little bit of
ADR.
Yeah.
After watching this movie for the millionth time, there's like later on in the movie where they're on the roof trying to talk to Bert, who we haven't even got into Bert yet.
One of the all-time greatest movie characters.
Just
one of the all-time greatest.
Talk about staying power. Talk about
carried a franchise for like 11 movies.
He's still doing it. Jamie Kennedy's lucky to work with him. But they're talking on CBs. And he says mother humper.
Yeah, mother humper.
And then he says 2 more mother humper.
2 more mother humper.
And the only in classic PG-13 you get one non-sexual fuck.
Yep.
And Kevin Bacon hits the worm
this early, isn't it?
It's whenever the first time I don't think it's the first time a worm dies, but a worm dies, and then he goes, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, that's what they're running.
That's right.
And they, which I had that thought when they ran in. That's like the opening worm scene. They run into this like concrete.
It's like a
drain, which I was like, "Oh yeah, why didn't the end roll credits? Everybody in the town get in this drain."
That's true. I guess the explanation is where does it actually go? Is it just
I don't know, but if it goes anywhere, I was like, movie's over. Just hang out in this drain.
Hang out in here and just try to like get him to run into the wall.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, just keep trying to. Yeah, I'm into slamming into the drain, but whatever. Who cares?
They do a good enough job to be like, where is that? How far is that from
It could be an hour.
Walter Chang's
Yeah.
grocery
And
store.
this movie does not care. It doesn't care whether or not it has plot holes. It's unabashedly itself. I love this movie because we don't know where the worms come from. We don't know why the worms are doing anything. We don't really know anything about anything that's going on other than here are these people in this town and they're being attacked by these worms.
Yeah, and everybody is in a different state of like that. You know, there are people who are delusional and sort of like the lady who wants them to like make a new pottery kiln. I forgot her name, but she has the daughter, and she's just sort of like disassociating. I was like, I'm having a really hard time with all of this. And the dude who plays Hector is maybe the most underrated actor in this movie. And then you got what's his name? He's like, I'll just hit him with a 9-pound pickaxe or whatever. And Nestor. Nestor's death scene is great. He just gets bumped off his trailer and then climbs up onto a big tire. He's like, no, Nestor's gonna get higher than that. And he goes, sucks him down through there.
Oh my gosh, dude, Victor Wong,
man.
and then obviously Reba.
That's
right, Reba and Bert.
Yeah, which is Michael Gross, who Bert Gummer, like we said, has carried now this franchise for like
200 movies,
35 years.
Yeah, our whole life
essentially. Yeah. The day before they start shooting this movie, is it All in the Family or Family Ties that he was the dad on for so long?
Sure, some of that.
They wrapped the day before.
Okay.
And against all better judgment, this movie's directed by Ron Underwood and written by two guys. I'll double check again, but whoever made that call like totally went against type, which is awesome. To like take that chance and be like, we think you should go from being one of America's nicer dads, to a prepper,
to an NRA gun nut,
like a prepper libertarian conspiracy hero to everyone. He's like talking about they come digging for whatever and find oil. Sorry, gotta move. Eminent domain. We just always hitting down, honey, down. This is Reba's first ever acting.
She's great.
And she's
beautiful.
Yeah.
In like a weird way, this is the only time where I've ever seen Reba in anything where I'm like, she's kind of a beautiful lady.
Beautiful lady. Yeah, I think that we were so young when she had the show.
Yeah.
And so it was all we had to go on was this in the show.
And in the show, she's like,
it's mom.
She just looks like anybody's mom.
Anybody's mom. In the South of it.
Yeah. And not like in a cool way.
She ain't no Stacy's mom.
No, she ain't Stacy's mom. She's more like Steven's mom.
That's right.
Who's weird and goes to church a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's hit some of the cool things production wise. So
I didn't know that about the FX. That's pretty sick.
They have a big team. The team, I believe the lead dude's name is Alec Gillis.
Okay.
Maybe I'll try to get a hold of it and see if he'll do a 10-minute interview. His special effects are awesome, but his resume, if he says no, I won't be surprised because his resume is
the real deal.
So good. He did Aliens with James Cameron. Okay. I think like it's worth pulling it up because it is lengthy. But yeah, they built this whole worm and obviously had a few like different ones. There's one whole one, that they dig up after they kill that first, or after it kills itself, essentially. They only made one full one. And then they've got a few that are just like one of the guys would stand inside, and that's awesome. The like Land Sharky, first of all, that's the original name of the script, was Land Shark, and they only changed it because SNL had a sketch called Land Shark like 2 years before that. Thank God. Because Tremors is a way better movie name than Land Shark. I think the other one was...
I had never really considered how much this movie is just land jaws.
Yep. And that's what I think SS something, that might get squirrely, is one of the screenwriters. And I believe he was like a technician in the Air Force and was just on some sort of patrol walking around the desert, and he sat on a rock and was like, what if there was something that wouldn't ever let me off this rock? That's how the original thing for Tremors.
That's like
Tremors.
You know the Strangers.
Yeah.
That they used the tagline for the Strangers. It was inspired by a true story or whatever. But when they interviewed the director about like, okay, so what's the story it's inspired by? He was like, yeah, one time when I was a kid, somebody rang my doorbell and I opened the door and they had on a mask.
Yeah. Like that whole thing, because he'll just let your imagination run wild.
Like, and then I wrote that whole movie based on that. But it is kind of, they should put on Tremors based on a true story. I mean, based on what they did for the Strangers.
You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Tremors inspired by true events.
Yeah. So Alec Gillis is known for Starfleet Troopers, Praise, Daily,
okay,
a bunch of the alien stuff, like even Romulus and Godzilla vs. Kong, then 2018 The Predator, the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom,
this guy's working.
It remake, The Monster, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, we're not getting this guy on the podcast.
You're probably not. Independence Day Research. Anyway, the list goes on, and he rules. And then they had some really fun stuff that was like, what I was getting to was the sort of land sharky, instead of a fin above water, you get this rolling hump for the worm when it's about to surface and make an attack. They would dig these big trenches in the desert and then pull a boat buoy behind a truck within the loose dirt to make that happen. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this movie does really well. I mean, it was an hour and 30 minutes, right? I mean, it's quick, it's funny, the setting is good, it never slows down. Like you said, all this like practical stuff makes it to where this movie came out when we were born, when I was born, you were born. And you can watch it and it looks just as good now as it did 30 years ago. Because it's not practical effects just always look like practical effects. They never look like shitty.
As long as they're good, right? Yeah, your eyes don't sort of adjust to the modernity of what current CGI is.
You can tell that it's fake.
Yeah,
but it plays and it works, and such a good movie. It's so funny too.
Yeah, super funny. I mean, I think one of the obvious reasons that I think the audience may or may not agree with that this movie connects with both of us so well is, I mean, really, we're the Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon of movie podcasts. If Kevin Bacon vaped the whole time.
If Kevin Bacon vaped the whole time and Fred Ward was homeless.
That's right. The other huge, a big thing about that seems to connect with, like, at least our childhood or whatever, is that this movie was a box office flop.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for the immediately after burgeoning insane phenomena that was video rental stores, which is where this movie becomes a classic, and
or even just like cable, eventually cable comes to the mid 90s, late 90s.
But I'm saying they made money. This movie becomes a phenomena because of VHS.
Yeah, sure.
Because of the accessibility of home VCRs, home VHS rentals. Like, I remember before I finally talked my parents into buying this movie, renting it 14 times. I was just like, I'm going to get this one and this one. I'm going to
I have to figure out what my dad's relationship to this movie is like. Because all I have is just
phone him in.
One day. I don't think that would be a good idea. We have to give it some time.
Fair.
Just one day, he passed it on to me. He's just like, hey, this is yours now. Now you have to do with this, whatever. But I didn't really ask any questions. I just was like, okay, I'll keep it safe.
Yeah,
I got it.
I have this.
I'll pass it on to my kids. So when it's time for them, they'll watch it. And then, maybe it was the same for him. Maybe his father showed it to him and his father before him. I don't know.
Tremors has actually always existed within your family because your family's time travelers.
Yeah. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, same.
This is in the top 20 for sure.
Yeah, there's a movie podcast called Pure Cinema Podcast, and I think they refer to stuff as a handshake movie, where it's like, if somebody really likes this movie, I know they're my people.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't really like this movie, I can't trust them. I don't know if they insinuate that on their podcast, but I'm going to come up with a different term so we can pretend to be original, but not right now. I don't know, but you can't be in my secret society if you don't.
Yeah.
You can't be in my cult if you don't like Tremors. This is it. I mean, this is like, there's not a ton of better examples of delivering the goods for the genre, of staying true to the genre, it's an ode of a monster movie that would work in any era of movies. I mean, you show it to somebody in the 40s, they might be like, what's with all this swearing? Or whatever. But for the most part, it works awesome.
I agree with you. So far, this is the best movie we watched.
Let's hit some of the favorite lines. The fact that, and I kept meaning to...
This is better than X3, by the way.
Hey,
and I like X3.
Love it.
I mean, Tremors is tens. I mean, when we come around to the score, I'm going to give it a 10.
We'll eventually get to tens across the board. Even the Russian judge or whichever one's famous.
Hit me with some of the good ones.
Let's get some favorite lines. Earl just keeps saying, pardon my French, all the time, and then just letting it rip.
Yep. God damn it.
Yeah. This is what I love about this movie, and this was part of my big wrap-up speech about why this movie's great that I was going to get to at the end. But this Kevin Bacon alone, but everybody in this movie, there's underground worms, and they play it so straight.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of quippy, jokey, hilarious things in this movie.
Well, it's not evolution.
Nobody's phoning it in. It's not evolution.
Yeah. It's not over the top or like the humor is so subtle. It's all situational humor.
Right. And it feels like buddy humor.
Yeah, right.
They're just giving each other shit the whole time. But one of the early views of the movie is when right before they get into the drainage ditch or whatever, the horse gets attacked, and Kevin, they finally realize that the snakes aren't the monster.
Right.
That's just their tongues.
That's the tongues, right.
And he goes, that's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground. But he's not phoning it in. It's legitimately good acting. And then, like, right after that, he also says, must be 1 million of them. And then they see the big monster.
Yep.
And Earl goes, nope, just one.
Just one.
So then they get into the drainage ditch, and it runs itself into the wall. And he's like, stupid son of a bitch, knocked itself cold. And Val's like, cold my ass. He's there. So good. But one of the greatest scenes, maybe in any movie, is and the scene that probably like endeared me to this movie at such a young age, because now this movie is fun throughout. It's all fun. Sure. But at 7 or whatever it was, 8 years old, this is tense.
Yes, it's a pretty intense movie. Yeah.
Which, first of all, you have to give it extra credit. We've talked about this before. Maybe
it's gas
on the other pod, but there's almost no scenes at night in this movie. It's just the doctor and his wife.
When the car goes up in the air.
This is daytime horror, and you're getting freaked out, and you're doing whatever.
And it's gas, but it's an hour and 30 minutes, and from the moment the credits stop, the beginning,
there's some gear shifting.
We're going.
But being a kid, the ultimate respite, the ultimate like release valve, is when the worm breaks into Bert and Heather's basement. Yep. And I just wrote gun basement.
The gun basement.
And
he just keeps asking for different guns.
It's a magazine. and then obviously, again, this is one of those things where you could be a snob and a douche and be like, just get the elephant gun immediately.
Right.
But he just keeps sort of slowly ticking
escalating
up. There's even one point where she's shooting it with 2 pistols, which is great. But then he finally gets the elephant gun. First of all, I guess, again, to sort of like stretch for more and more, he doesn't fire both barrels at the same time. Right. Cock both barrels, or You can't split barrels, but it's some double trigger.
Right.
I'm like, they hit both.
Yeah,
What are you waiting for? But then after, broken the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you bastard? And I remember as a kid,
broke into the wrong goddamn rec room.
I remember as a kid floating. I was like, oh yeah, dude, this is true love. Shooting a giant worm in your basement. What? It's so good, dude.
It is. I mean, it is. This is pure cinema.
It's a near perfect movie. It's a unicorn. And this is what I wrote down. And this is my big takeaway and why I would stand on any hill and fight to the death for this movie being a good movie, is because if anybody could find me a better example of what movie making should be, which is a bunch of adults with a sizable budget playing pretend perfectly. This is and to that point, I don't know if you did, but as a kid, you could go out and play Tremors.
Oh yeah,
like
jumping around on stuff,
like the floor is lava.
Yep.
You could play it in a living room. You could play it outside. You could play it in the woods. You could pretend like you're a army, team out on a training mission.
Oh, yeah.
Here come the worms.
My only gripe with this movie is that Kevin Bacon isn't in Tremors 2.
Yeah.
That's not about this movie, but Tremors 2 is good too.
Right.
And it could have been awesome if it had gotten the full cast back together.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the guy, I don't know. I don't remember that guy's name, but he plays, I think his character in the movie is Grady or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I mean, since this episode is about Victor Wong, R.I.P. Victor Wong, one of the early lines in Tremors 2 Aftershock is, it's like, he's like, why are they called graboids? And Fred Ward in his trailer, they're looking at which, oh my God, if you could find the video game, Graboids, the video game that's in his trailer or whatever, in Tremors 2, that'd be so sick, especially if it's a real. They'd make it a legit
copy of it.
But he sees it and he's like, oh wow, the Graboid video game or whatever. He's like, what are they called Graboids, by the way? And Fred Ward's like, Walter Chang. He named them and they ate them. Just, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Walter Chang, dude. Rest in peace, Walter Chang.
Rest in peace, Walter Chang. Make sure there's nothing else that we're missing. I mean, again, the end of the movie, like I said, sort of, besides the sweet, happy ending where he finally gets up the courage to kiss Rhonda LaBelle or whatever. And, but before that, when they're actually trying to kill the last Graboid, old Stumpy, and you get the connecting of the circle with Kevin Bacon ends up staring off that cliff that he may or may not be the one he was taking a piss off at the beginning of the movie, and then he comes to Fred and he's like, and all of a sudden it just hit me, stampede, and they're like bah, 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 bah. And it makes this perfect backflip.
That's very
You're like, holy shit, they did it. It's a back. But I think ultimately the movie is sort of this it's kind of about the indomitable spirit, human spirit, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah,
that in the face of the most insane, craziest thing, all of these people, I mean, they're occasionally they're fighting with each other, or your idea sucks, my idea is better, talking shit,
normal people
stuff. But through it all, it's the will to survive and defeat whatever's in your way, and it just happens to be this big ridiculous Precambrian worm or whatever they settle on later. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is a fantastic movie, and this isn't a movie that I could recommend enough. It's this is something that feels like you said, this is a deal breaker movie,
right?
Where it's I can't imagine being close to somebody about movies and then them not liking Tremors. That would be a weird thing for me. So
that would be crazy.
10. This movie is a 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hard pressed to give a 10, but
I mean, I got 15, 20 10s. This one is no.
I probably don't have that many 10s, but because of, I mean, fairly or unfairly, it's because this movie has meant so much to me for so long.
Same.
And ultimately it's probably why we did it so early on in this podcast, but it's probably one of the biggest reasons I love movies. I remember before that always watching plenty of movies, but Tremors seemed to open the world up
Yeah.
to like, oh, not all movies are what's that movie called? Like, what was I watching before that? Before that, I was a film boy. This made me a film man. I do remember being upstairs at the house I was in, like elementary school in or wherever, and watching Tremors, and I had it up just a little too loud, and they hit that first GD pretty hard. My mom goes, TJ,
what are you watching?
and I go to the stairs and then go down. You know, it was like one of those 2000s houses where the top half of the stairs you can't see, but then it goes up whatever to a banister. And I go, yeah. She goes, did that movie just say GD? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, don't say that. I'm not going. So that, yeah, I mean, this movie has like formidable memories. And
It's this Jurassic Park and Stargate are like movies I remember as a kid.
Oh,
Watching as a kid with my dad. My dad was big fans of those movies.
Yeah, fair.
Watch those a lot. And Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's big. All right, well,
Tombstone. And honestly, we could do this all day. But Tremors for sure was one that like I watched that fucking 1,000 times.
It's so good. The buddy element to it, the like this tiny forgotten shit stain of a town. Dude, you honestly don't really know how it still exists. It's a near ghost town.
Yeah, it's a population 14
who just refused to go quietly into the warm night.
We used to get fired up when the new ones would come out. My dad would get fired up.
Yeah.
And we'd have a night, you know, because there were TV movies, so they just come out on TV.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the Tremors is outside.
Yeah, it rules. Before we get out of here, I mean, I would love to hear some of what the audience thinks in the comments. Obviously, what do you think of these movies?
What do you think is your all-time favorite giant worm movie? Tremors or Dune?
Yeah, that's good. That would be an interesting double feature.
Tremors and Dune.
But tell us what you think of these movies, and then tell us if you think this was a stupid double feature. It's a weird pairing.
It is a weird. I imagine this one would be hard to watch back to back.
Back to back, it's a little.
And I would probably.
I'd go Tremors second.
I'd go Tremors second. Too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But also, what do you think? If you do think this double feature isn't the perfect double feature, which is totally fine, fire off some that you think would make a better double feature with each of these movies. For example, I wrote down a Lake Placid Tremors double feature.
Yeah, that's good.
And Lake Placid first, obviously, because it's
I like
a much shittier movie.
Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers and Tremors is very cool.
Obviously, both like practical effects.
Yeah, both practical effects. Obviously, Tremors and then Tremors 2 is a super fun double feature I've done about 1 billion times.
Tremors, Date.
Right. If anybody wants to do that and report back, I would be interested in hearing how that is.
The big worm.
Big worm double.
It would really have to be Tremors and Doom 2, probably.
Or Tremors and the 85.
Yeah, 85, dude. Yeah.
The David Lynch Doom. And then for Year of Dragon, I had a couple that were like Big Trouble would be a cool one.
Yeah.
The obvious ones are Angel Heart, which I think I had done. And Chinatown. And the one I think is interesting, one, it would be cool just to watch that Hell Money episode of the X-Files right before you watch or after you watch, either way. Season 3, episode 19. You need it. But then, did you ever see Last Man Standing? It's made by Walter Hill. It's Bruce Willis is like a mob guy who goes out west to. For some reason, that sticks out in my mind as that would be a fun.
It could be fun
pair. Although that would make a fun pair with Tremors as well. Just having two sort of deserty action movies. One's action straight, one's action horror.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's just any movies that are just really racist towards Asian. Any other Big Trouble in China, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Chinatown is pretty rowdy. And then do we want to go ahead and say what we're at least probably thinking for the double feature for next week so that people can...
Oh, yeah, sure. If they want to watch it, go ahead. Lay it on them, fatty.
All right. Obviously, following all the connective tissue rules, the thought is it will be our connective tissue from this week to next week will be Kevin Bacon.
KB.
And the connective tissue between the two movies will be Julia Roberts. So if you pause it and guess, that's pretty fun for you. That could be your own little game. But it will be Flatliners and conspiracy theory, which I don't think I've
Either
ever
one of us have seen. Not all the way through. I definitely have caught bits and pieces of it.
It definitely seems like something I would have walked in on my parents watching at some point and then just been like, nah, I'm playing outside or whatever. Because it seems right up my alley.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a fun one. Kevin Bacon.
That's right.
Kevin Bacon double feature. And I love Kevin Bacon. And if you haven't seen, not The Hollow Man, but what's the other one? Damn, my brain is fried.
Oh, no.
I'm too tired. But the one where he's Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes, right.
Stir of Echoes is a pretty cool movie with Kevin Bacon in it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, this has been Double Feature. This is Double Feature episode 2.
It's episode 2. 2.
So
2 squared.
keep watching. And we'll keep making them. So
keep watching movies.